The first thing I want to say is I told y'all. Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Nova. Now, by the title of the video, the long awaited day has come and I finally watched the first episode of the Gossip Girl new generation, I guess. A lot of people were upset in my old video that I did about Gossip Girl because I called it a reboot. And in my thoughts about the reboot trailer, a lot of people were telling me not to compare this new 2021 Gossip Girl to the old one that came out in 2006, which I understand that probably that wouldn't be the best idea. I try to look at it as a whole new show. Until I watched this first episode, and that's just all they do. The whole premise of the show is comparing it to the one in 2006. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. I'm gonna go through basically the whole premise of the show, and then I'll talk about my likes and dislikes and overall views on the show. So you have a group of friends that go to a private school and they've been friends since they were like really young, right? So the head mean girl, her name is Julian, and basically drama arises when a girl named Zoya starts her first day of school. Now what we find out later on, like probably in the first 15 minutes of the episode, is that Zoya and Julian are actually sisters. So they have two different fathers and the same mother. And basically, their mother left Julian's father to go with Zoya's father, but then she died. Okay, so that's all we know. And then apparently Zoya and Julian linked up online and convoluted this whole plan to get Zoya into the school so that they can, you know, get to know each other as sisters. Now, Zoya got in with a scholarship, right? She was able to convince her dad to move them from, I think they said they live in Ohio. So convince her dad to move all the way from Ohio to New York, and she's basically settling in, and that's the premise of the show. To go further into the character, Julian is the main one. That's the one that's bald. Then you have Audrey and Aki that are dating, and then you have Max, who is just, you know, first of all, Audrey and Aki's relationship is just lackluster. Audrey clearly has a thing for Max. A lot of tension. There's also a lot of tension between Max and Aki, so I know they're developing probably a sort of like throuple situation. That's what I perceive from. And then you have her minions. Honestly, I didn't really look too much into their names because I only watched the first episode and they were just there, okay? And then you have Obi, which is Julian's boyfriend. Now, before I complain, because trust me, there's a lot to say, and like I said, I told you guys the show was gonna be trash. I felt it through the trailer. Okay, so I'll talk about the things that I did like about the show. I like the fact that they made the two main characters, the antagonist and the protagonist, sisters. Seems like there's a backstory there with her mom leaving Julian's father and then dying somehow, some way, we don't know, but I feel like that's going to be something that they build on throughout the show. The dads seem to hate each other, and even, spoilers by the way, in the end when Zoya, which is the younger sister, she's a freshman, when her father finds out that her and Julian have known each other all along, he's upset, which, like I said, they're probably going to build upon that story. But I do like the overall backstory of Zoya and Julian's relationship. One surprise that I didn't expect, I actually like Julian as a character so far. From what I saw, like I said, I only saw one episode, and that episode was already dragging on. Like I had to watch it in increments because I kept looking at the time. I was like, oh my god, it's an hour and I don't have to watch any advertisements. And I'm glad I didn't pay for it because I don't want to watch another episode unless maybe you guys want me to. Who knows? I do actually like Julian. I feel like she's a very good antagonist and a very good, I don't want to call her villain, but mean girl, in the way that a lot of the things that she does and a lot of she seems more of a realistic villain, right? So I'm gonna compare, like in comparison to the old show in 2006 where we had Blair as the mean girl of the school, the villain, it wasn't realistic. It was very vapid, this kind of like, you can't sit with us, when I feel like in the real world it's not like that, especially when you're dealing with teens, adolescents. People aren't really in your face with that, especially with girls. I know a lot of it was passive aggressiveness and two-faced type of stuff. So I really like how they show that with Julian and Zoya. Julian just seems like a teenager, honestly. She comes from this wealthy background, yes, but also at the same time she's excited to meet her sister while also having reservations about how that's going to affect her image, and it's real. So I did like the fact that they brought a little realism to high school, because sometimes when watching the old Gossip Girl, I'd be like, people don't act like this. Like, people don't act like this in real life. Also like how this time her minions, Julian's minions, they seem like they're all genuinely friends, right? They're actually friends that like to hang out with each other, but Julian seems like the one that's more of the leader and the other two follow. But doesn't mean that it's healthy, right? So in comparison to Julian and Blair, I feel like Blair, when she had those quote-unquote minions, it didn't seem like all of them actually had a genuine friendship. It seemed like they all just didn't like each other, which is also real. You know, you have those friends that they'll pretend to be your friend, but behind your back, they'll talk bad about you. But with Julian and her two friends, I feel like there is actually a solid friendship, but she just seems to be the quote-unquote leader. Either way, it just feels more realistic and it flows better with the whole story they're trying to portray. Another thing that I liked is that they didn't really portray Zoya, which is the younger sister that is a freshman. They didn't try to portray her as poor, which is, like I said, I'm going to be comparing a lot. And the old Gossip Girl, they really try to make us feel bad for Dan, like he was going through hard times when they lived in a whole $10 million loft in Brooklyn. Okay, so I feel like they did a good job where they made Zoya still feel kind of disconnected from the rest of the people, because although she's not poor, she's not as wealthy as the other kids that actually go to the school, you know what I mean? So I like how they aren't trying to make us feel bad for the main character in a financial way, because she looks like she's doing pretty well off, you know? I'm gonna get more into the characters that really stood out to me and what I think about them. So Aki is the one with the pink hair who is in a relationship with Audrey, the blonde girl, and I like Aki, right? From what I've seen, I do think that he needs to grow a little bit of a backbone. I mean, I don't know if he's cool with the whole open relationship to boyfriend thing, but that's how it seems like that's something that Audrey seems to want. So sometimes I was just like, boy, I just feel like the character seems cool. I honestly don't really have much for him, honestly. Nothing good, nothing bad. Now Max is the one that Audrey is lusting after. He's like your typical bad boy. I'm comparing him, like I said, a lot to Chuck, because Chuck was this bad boy, this player, the one who was with a lot of different women, and Max is basically the bisexual version of Chuck. Like, I don't care what you say. That's the vibe I was getting. He's the bad boy. Audrey, she seems sexually frustrated. I don't like or dislike her. That's basically all I want to say. And now for Obi, Julian's boyfriend. I will say one thing is that he's very realistic. He's a very realistic character. Obi is a very realistic character in a way that he tries to use his activism to hide the fact that he actually benefits from a lot of the things that he is rejecting, a lot of the things that he despises. So for example, I know he's into a lot of community service, and I don't know what all I heard was community service, activism, blah 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 blah. But then I remember in the first 10 minutes how Julian or one of her friends was saying how he's the richest out of all of them, which is kind of realistic. You know, you even see it nowadays where some of the most wealthy people try to put on a mask of political activism, and they try to make it seem like they're all for the people, even though they're benefiting from the same thing that they despise. And he kind of gives off this I'm not like other guy. Yeah, but we're gonna talk more about that. Okay, now to the things that I dislike. I've saved this for the last part of the video because there's a lot that I dislike. So let's start with number one. The whole premise of the show. Throw it in garbage. Trash. Basura. I told you guys the whole premise of the show. What did I say? People were telling me, oh, don't compare it to the old Gossip Girl. This is nothing like the old Gossip Girl. This is a new generation. How are you saying that? But then the producers, writers, directors, whoever decided to use the teachers as Gossip Girl and tell us in the first episode and basically tell us that this whole show is going to be the teachers using the old Gossip Girl's blueprint to troll these teenagers. So we're basically playing by the script of the original show. When I saw that scene, that's when I checked out of the episode. I said, there's no way. I don't want to hear about the old characters of Gossip Girl, right? This is supposed to be a new show. So when the teachers were all in the room talking about the students, and the one was talking about there were these girls named Serena and Blair, and they had a feud, and we need to do this, and then this guy named Dan, and then like basically recapping the old show, right? But I thought this was the new generation. Secondly, the thing that gets on my nerves, which I feel like sometimes this happens in certain movies and TV shows where kids are involved, these adults are so weird. And this isn't the only show that this happens with, but particularly and this show, it made me a little bit more disgusted because it is a TVMA show. Like, it's on HBO. It's not like Gossip Girl. There were a lot of sexual themes and things that weren't appropriate for younger audiences, but it wasn't as in your face as this show. You know, they show a little bit more than the old Gossip Girl, which is whatever, people feel how they want to feel about it. But these teachers all need to be fired. These teachers all need to be fired. They all need to be fired. Number one, the first thing that they send, the first thing that they sent as Gossip Girl, you know, the two teachers, the blonde one and the guy, the first blast, Gossip Girl blast that they send, are two underage teenagers getting undressed. Where's the police? Where's the police? Because after that event, so Obi's, which is Julian, the older sister, right? The older sister's boyfriend takes the younger sister home, and I guess it was raining or something. I don't know the premise. All I know is that they were changing, like facing away from each other, changing, and then they were hanging out, which we're gonna get to that. But then you have this creepy teacher hanging outside the window like Herbert the pervert, taking pictures. Is that not child like, is that not what it is? And then he brings it back. He's like, I feel so wrong. No, you don't feel so wrong. You are wrong. You are a predator, sir. What are you doing? I wanted to call the police until I realized these people aren't real. Like, these are characters. This isn't real. Like, this isn't real life. I was disgusted. Like, are you serious? And now you guys are going to try to make me feel bad for these teachers because they're in a school with a lot of elitist kids that don't care about anything, and the parents are paying off the school to get these people into good grades. Yeah. That could be a whole problem in itself. But by you acting like you're so much better than these kids and then taking pictures, you need to be fired and you need to be put in jail. Point blank, period. The teachers are annoying me. The whole premise of the show is when I said I'm not watching the show. Like, I'm not watching it. I'm not invested in it. It doesn't even make sense that the teachers are Gossip Girl. First of all, I kind of did like the mystery of who Gossip Girl was. And the 2006 version, we were like, oh, who is it? Could it be Eric? Could it be this one? Could it be Dorota? Could it be Dan? You know what I mean? I kind of like the mystery surrounded by it because at the end of the day, I just wanted to know who Gossip Girl is. At this point, with the way the show is going, I wouldn't have cared if they took the whole Gossip Girl element out of it. Like, would it still be Gossip Girl? Maybe not. Maybe they could just make it like adventures of elitist teens in New York. I don't know. The real teens of the Upper East Side, right? I'd rather they just take the whole Gossip Girl element out of it, because at the end of the day, there's still going to be drama. Like, each person seems like they have their own interesting and dynamic storyline. It does not work. It doesn't work. Like, it doesn't work. And then when Gossip Girl spilled the whole news about how Zoya, the younger sister, actually got into the school, like, was I supposed to be like... Second of all, we're gonna get to another thing. We're gonna get to another thing that really annoyed me about the show, thing that I dislike. Zoya. Hi, hello, hi Zoya. Hi, Miss Protagonist. Hello. No. Number one, I can understand her being upset because she did convince her dad to move all the way from where she was from to be in New York and meet her sister that her father didn't want her to have anything to do with, right? I can understand her being upset when she found out that she did not get into the school the right way, right? And that Julian had something to do with it. But what I don't like is, number one, Obi. What are you doing? First of all, we already know he's checked out of the relationship. At the end of the episode, he breaks up with Julian because she just changed. She's not the same girl. Like, she's too like, you're too like into yourself, bro. Like, you're just like all the rest of these rich kids, even though like I'm a rich kid too, you know. So we already know that Obi was checked out of the relationship. Boom. But then Zoya, I understand you just met your sister. Even though she's your half sister, that's still your sister. Why are you hanging out with her boyfriend? And Obi, why are you so interested in your girlfriend's younger sister? And Obi, why are you inviting your girlfriend's younger sister to your apartment and changing and hanging out by the fireplace, whispering sweet nothings? That's cheating. That's cheating, dear. That's cheating. And it's gross. It's cheating and it's gross. This girl, didn't she just get out of middle school? Like, she's barely a freshman. And Zoya, I can understand wanting to be accepted by these new people at your school, but you know there's a lot of other people in your school, right? There's a lot of other people. One thing I will say that was cool, not gonna lie, because I told you I'm surprised I actually like Julian as a character for now, okay? I don't want you guys telling me in the comments like, well, in episode 5 she does this. Listen, I'm going by what I know right now. I'm going by the episode that I saw. Julian was a little snaky, right? At that fashion show where she basically flipped it around on Zoya to make her feel better. And like I said, I could understand why Zoya was like, you know, I don't really want anything to do with you. I understand that. But come on, guys. Don't tell me that wasn't don't tell me you guys did not like that scene when Zoya was walking by and Julian got the lighter. I was like, she did that. It's wrong. It's wrong. But she did that. And then you have these creepy adults, their teachers at home like, wow, that was really cool. Get a life. Get a life and get a different job. You don't even like this job. Why are you here? Why are you here? They're like, I hate being a teacher, so all I'm gonna do is terrorize and stalk these children, sneak up on them and stalk them in front of their homes and take pictures of them because I don't like them and I don't like working here. Like, find another job, boo. Why are you here? It doesn't make any sense. It is stupid. So like I said, so that's all I really have to say about this Gossip Girl. A few people from the original cast said, like, what's his name? Penn Badgley, the one that played Dan. Yeah, he did say that he wouldn't mind being on the show. He might make an appearance. Will I be there to see it? Probably not. Will I be watching another episode? Depends on what you guys want. Depends on if you guys want to torture me anymore. But if it was up to me, no. Will I be paying for HBO Max just to watch this? No. That's all I honestly have to say. I'm not surprised that I didn't like it. I'm just surprised of the whole premise of how they did Gossip Girl, leaving it up to the teachers and telling us who Gossip Girl was in the beginning. They could have done that in a different way to where it wouldn't be as stupid, but they didn't. And I don't know what else to say about that. That's that on that. Anyways, you guys, thank you so much for watching my video. Leave a comment down below. Tell me, did you watch the first episode? Are you gonna watch the first episode? Have you watched the 6 episodes? Tell me, should I keep watching or should I just stop? Because everybody says it's trash and I don't want to keep watching it unless I'm watching it to make a video about it. So yeah, be sure to like this video and subscribe, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.